This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network and Virginia International Raceway for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. I am Chaz Draycott alongside Alex Simpson in the commentary booth tonight, and he's going to be multitasking on the cameras as well. You can see there before you, the drivers tonight will be using the north layout of Virginia International Raceway. Alex, we've seen these boys race around here before, and it was quite exciting last time, but it's been a while since then, so how do you reckon tonight's going to go?
Yeah, indeed. Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Virginia always an exciting race. I think very demanding, and see some great racing, but also see some drivers making little mistakes that turn into big mistakes. So, yeah, it should be interesting indeed.
And of course, you can see there, you've got the very famous first section where you go through turn one around the little tree, and then you've got the double left-hander, and then a little chicane left and right. But instead of the usual long straight that would go down after that, they do cut it off halfway, go to the right and over a very steep crest, actually, and then it's onto the slow final section of the lap. You can just see the championship standings there. Nick McCarron, top of the standings at the moment. Martin Plowman in second place, with Kip Stevens in third, with 2,500 points. Dave Hampson, Jack Ashton, Luke Cooper. It's very, very close all the way down there through those guys. And we've just finished qualifying here. There is very quickly the AM Championship as well. Jeroen Ursum, nearly 200 points clear there, with Scott Malcolm in second, Max Wright third, David Ayres in fourth, Benjamin Mearson fifth. Benjamin will be hoping to gain some more points this evening. It doesn't seem he's done too fantastically in qualifying. Pole position goes to the number one machine of Jason Cooper. He's been quick all season. Steve Hefford is second on the grid. Adam Delmont is third, with Jamie Ayres in fourth. Brian Holmes is fifth, with Dave Hampson in sixth. Good qualifying for him. Good to see him back up there. Adam McNally is seventh. Charlie Summers is eighth. Peter Van Gogh is ninth. And Ashley Beard makes sure that it's a SimLab, Excite, and Swift Cooper top 10. Luke Cooper is 11th, with Kip Stevens in 12th. Andy Maxwell is the highest placed AM driver in 13th for Year 1 Racing, with Mikey Key alongside 14th. Good qualifying by those pair, to be honest. Nick McCarron 15th. Carl Hardy 16th. James McRitchie is 17th, with Michael Waltman 18th.
Might just have lost Chaz there for a second. So, yeah, it seemed to die on us. But yeah, very close top 20, as always, as we expect. Just waiting for a few drivers to make their way to the grid. Charlie Summers, one of them. Alex Rivette at the back. Doesn't look like he's going to make it, so revs are building. We're getting ready for race one of the night here at Virginia. Great start from our pole sitter as well. Absolutely immediate reactions there. So compared to Steve Hefford, it just looked completely different. So very impressed with that start there. But let's hope. Turn one is always very, very tricky around here, and we see a couple of people just going wide. You get caught on that grass, and it's just almost no way back on that outside line. But I'm not seeing anyone dropping down the order, so I spoke too soon. Andy Maxwell has a little spin in the Year 1 racing car there. He is going to be right at the back of the pack. And now Brian Holmes as well is dropping down the order. What's going on with Brian? Can't actually grab him. There he is. So I'm guessing there was some contact that made him end up in that tyre wall. But yeah, not the start Brian wanted to this meeting as well. Chaz, you back?
I am indeed. I'm going to find out whoever installed my internet from Vodafone and have them shot, because for the last few days, any time between 8 PM and half 8 PM, it just goes randomly. Sorry everybody, but I'll be back in the session in just a moment, Alex. I can see everything on the live timing, and like you say, Andy Maxwell just unfortunately, despite being the highest placed AM, he's dropped right down the order now.
Yeah, that's a shame. So that highest placed AM position goes to Mikey Key right now for the Result Clothing team. You can just sort of see him coming through the backstage. Oh, someone off one of the Swift Cooper cars as they go through the final corner and rejoin. That looks like it was Charlie Summers. Yeah, so Summers, who was late to the grid, running wide through that final corner. Just so frustrating when you get out there, just the grass, you just can't seem to make it back to the circuit. 3 wide going into turn 1 there, another car off, Adam McNally. So drivers struggling with the braking into turn 1, costing them dearly. Just looking at Kip Stevens there, and yeah, Kip, he's just tucked up behind Ashley Beard and Luke Cooper, who are side by side. And yeah, let's see through the end of this first sector whether they get single file. They do. Peter Van Gool just ahead of them. But yeah, Beard, then Stevens having a little look. And yeah, Ashley just goes a little bit defensive just to cover off that line. I don't think Kip was necessarily going for anything. Kip under a little bit of pressure from our championship leader now, Nick McCarran, as he swings himself through back half of this circuit. Very flowing.
I was going to say it's quite important for him as well, of course, because Kip is 3rd in the championship and Plowman, so they are pretty much in a title fight together at the moment to make sure that they get as many points out of this meeting. So every single position gained and lost by these guys is going to be, well, the further and further they go on through this season, Alex, the more they've got to be careful about it all, really.
Yeah, and those guys are just really banging in the consistent results. That's why they're right up there. And I don't think they'll mind me saying they've not been the fastest on the grid at all this season, but they just keep knocking up the points. And some of the quick guys, they just keep getting involved in a little incident here and there, and that is what really is kind of hampering their chances of being at the top of the table and the standings at the moment. So
yeah, it certainly is. And like we've seen in series such as the British Touring Car Championship, I mean, Colin Turkington won the championship last season with, oh, there's contact there, around goes Carl Hardy. Charlie Summers off again. That's who was that's Marcelo Pagnon in shot, giving it a nice little donut to get it back on track. Actually, that was quite a stylish recovery, but
it did look good. And he made contact with his teammate there. Just again, just not enough room.
I think Cherney just made contact with somebody as well there through the left-hander, but there is a bit of a breakaway here actually. These top 5 now with Delmont at the rear, but yeah, you can see that massive snake of cars going through there. Quite surprised to see such a breakaway at the moment, actually, Alex. I wasn't expecting to see these guys run away with it so quickly. Oh, Rizzo's going down the order now. You can see him highlighted in red on the map. There he is, just off the circuit. I think he must have been turned by somebody there to be on the inside like that.
Let's see if we can get a little replay of that. Here we go.
It's quite easy to do in this section. Obviously, you're going left, right, left most of the time. Trying to keep the momentum of the car. Maybe he loses the rear end. Have to have a look. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a quick drop there as you go onto that curb, so it's very easy to unsettle the rear end of this car. And even though you're not at such high speed, it will go around on you, and it's not the easiest thing to save. And like you were saying before as well, Alex, if you dip a wheel onto the grass at some of these corners around here, you're just a sitting duck and you can't recover. If you turn in too hard, the car's going to spin. And sometimes you just got to accept your fate and sort of carry on going, really, and just let it run wide onto the grass and play it safe. It's like the very famous corner, the first turn 1 at Lime Rock. If you dip a wheel on that grass on the outside, you're long gone. You may as well just wave goodbye, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
See Steve Pepper. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, just obviously for anyone who hasn't tuned into the series before, is new to it, watching it on the iRacing Esports Network. Well, we have 4 races tonight, so you might be thinking 15 minutes, that's not very long at all. It is, it's 4 sprint races, so we have a reverse grid. We'll bring that up on screen at the end of this race. We spin that dictates the grid order for races 2, 3 and 4. And yeah, we have a little ad break while we just get the next session ready, and the drivers go out again. So yeah, it's a good sort of two hours worth of maybe 2.5 hours worth of racing, isn't it? Lots of fun, spices it up. The two categories, Am and Pro, and yeah, that with the reverse grid gives the opportunities for the Ams to get some wins as well. But yeah, so the blue, as on screen, is for your Pro, and the green is for your Am, and you can see on the little timing tower as well. So you can see Mikey Key still holds on to that Am lead position at the moment, so he will get a class win as well, and that all helps towards his points and his bonus points at the end of the season that will carry over into the showdown, which is the final 5 races of the season.
It's a very well thought out championship. It's very complex in ways. Oh, down the inside there, that was Kip Stevens going down the inside of Pete Van Gool there. Really nice move into turn 1, but he's doing a great job so far. It's Mikey Keats. Oh, Adam Delmont runs out wide. A little bit of a tap with Hampson there. Hampson down the inside. Makes it stick. But I was just going to say, yeah, Mikey Key doing a great job so far. In 11th place overall. He'll be very happy with that. Let's hope that keeps his nose clean and doesn't get in any incidents here. Because that would be a real shame to see him drop down the order. And these guys having a right good fight now. Adam Delmont, he's never one to back down. Dave Hampson, we saw that he was rapid over the last few seasons. He's taken the place of Jack McIntyre at SimLab. And here's Adam Delmont's teammate, team owner and manager Adam McNally. He's on the back of Mikey Key now. These boys have plenty of banter between themselves on the Facebook group that these guys are all in. So I'm sure that there'll be words had now. Mikey lets him go. Nice and cleanly done there as well, actually, Alex. That was probably one of the best places to do that, so Mike didn't lose too much momentum himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough anywhere to get by here, isn't it? And not lose that momentum. That's the thing. So you know, get out of the way or anything. So yeah, very tricky, especially this circuit. I mean, I've never run the North, to be honest, so I wouldn't know. But it does look like one corner leads into the next. Just having a look at the biggest movers and shakers out there as well. Ashton up 17 spots. What a great drive so far. Only up 12. Panion's actually up 10, and he had that massive spin.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I think obviously because I had my issues earlier, I've come into this, and apparently Kip Stevens has gained 26 places, which I know is not true. We can see on the left-hand side though, because your information is correct. Cherney 12 places, which as we know is good, but yeah, Panion, brilliant, that is awesome to see, and he's just done his personal best as well. He's 2 seconds behind his teammate currently, so he's going to be hoping to close that gap, get a couple more places, but this is a great little scrap here between Kip Stevens and the other two. Brian Holmes, he's right on the back of Andy Maxwell here for Year 1 Racing. He does have the number 5 on that car, but also the number 19. That's a bit confusing for Ryan. Hopefully he doesn't focus on that too much. I think, to be fair, he runs the number 5 in the Monday MX5 Cup that these guys do as well, which is mainly focused around the AMs having their own little championship. They use it as a good bit of practice as well. I've seen a lot of posts as well, Alex, I don't know about you, for the Year 1 flip-flop company, which is what they are, doing some fantastically branded stuff for their MX5 team, and Dan Blake as well, who races in the real-life MX5 Cup.
Oh, nice. I haven't actually seen it, to be honest, so...
Well, I urge anyone watching and yourself to go and have a look, because honestly the stuff they do does look absolutely belting. Yeah. And I'm sure you could probably entice some of the Apex boys to get some, because they really do look banging.
Yeah, let's get it shared on some social media so we can get some sight of that, I think.
Indeed. And speaking of social media, of course, don't forget to check out Apex Racing TV. We are on our own YouTube channel as well. We are also streaming on Twitch and Facebook too, so you can check out any of the broadcasts that we do. We cover plenty of series throughout the week. And obviously very grateful to be on the iRacing Esports Network for this one, for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. And this battle's still raging on between these guys here. Alex Stevens is going to get sick of these SimLab cars by the end of this one, but he's going to be focusing obviously on Nick McHerron because of that championship fight.
Exactly, he just needs to just keep ahead and actually use Nick's teammate to his advantage, just to that bit of slipstream, make it difficult for Nick to get by. Any points that he's closing up is good. Nick a little bit offline there, and actually coming under pressure from McNally. McNally won't be afraid to put one up the inside, and looks like he's doing exactly that. And Nick decides, actually, I don't want any of that right now. I just want that good, consistent finish, as we were talking about earlier on. Lets him have it, and he'll perhaps have a little fight back later if Kip and McNally go at it.
Yeah, it's all about playing mind games and playing the strategic game in these races, isn't it, really? You want to make sure that you've got the upper hand on the guy in front, try and be one step ahead, but it's not always that easy while you're in a racing scenario, but you've got to sort of create your chances and take them. Just looking at the top of the standings at the moment, Jason Cooper running away with it, 1.8 second lead. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in this championship, as you can see, a lot of the racing is very, very close. As Mikey Keys dropped down a couple of places here. Alex, he's gone below Max Wright on there for the AM class lead, and he's still dropping down as well.
Yeah, we'll have a look, see what that might have been in a moment. Just having a look on the rear of Kip Stevens. I thought McNally was perhaps going to get a run. He doesn't. So let's go and check that out as well.
He seems to have stabilised in 16th place at the moment. Oh, you can see just in front there, he ran wide just coming out the final corner, and then he's a sitting duck for these guys down the straight, isn't he? Nothing he can do. Just lose so much momentum, and it's such a long straight here as well. That exit out of that final corner is oh so important. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him, and Summers gets the move done there as well on Jack Ashton, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's a key. I mean, he's still there. He's got a potential to fight back. What is he? He's about 1.5 seconds from Max Wright. Max Wright now takes the lead in AM. There he is in the automatic knock hill car. So it's not over and done for Key. He's definitely shown that he's got the pace. So see how it unfolds. But we've only got about 2 minutes left of this race, so a couple of laps is all it's going to be. So he's going to have to really pull his finger out if he's going to get to him. I'm not sure he has, because he's about a second back right now from that little pack now. So Wright looking good for the win, as long as these pros don't upset him a little bit.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's got to be a bit hopeful here as Mikey Key that these pro drivers coming through, Charlie Summers and Jack Ashton, sort of disrupt him a little bit. We'll slow him down if he decides to give the place up. But you never know, he could fight them, and that'll back the group up into them. Yes, it stopped nice.
Yeah, it does fight him a little bit there into one. Kip Stevens and Adam McNally still having this battle. They were side by side. Oh, McNally just getting a little bit too far over to Kip there. There's nowhere for Kip to go. He was basically on the edge of the circuit. Yeah. Now he's trying to obviously open up the corner as much as possible, as you'd expect, but just squeezing a little bit too much, and has checked him up. And this is what I said about McCarron. McCarron just waiting in the wings there, just to see what's going to go down between these two, and whether or not he can just nip through and gain a couple of places. Thanks very much. That would be a
there you go.
Finish. Well, and Stevens around, and that's exactly the one that he wanted to go around as well. He's championship rival right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not really sure who that was to blame on, really. I don't think McNally had much of an overlap to stick his nose down there, to be honest. We'll have another look at it. So here we go. Fantastic view from the chopper cam. So McNally's round the outside. He gets a great run. Still contact. He tries to get back on, and I think he might have just thought it was clear. It's a shame, really, because Stevens has had a really good race. He did very well, actually, last night in the Chaslington Touring Car Championship on his debut, but unfortunately, it's further down the order for him now, 21st.
Each driver will argue that out, that the other driver is at fault.
Oh, definitely.
100%. Kip will be like, well, you knocked me on the rear there, and McNally will say, well, you run me out wide. But I think that will go down possibly as a racing incident. I don't know. Of course, it all gets reviewed afterwards. But I would always say, as the person who is behind, you're the one that can pull out of that incident, because you're the one that can see it. You know. Yeah,
definitely.
You've got to be on the driver behind. So. Yeah, I'm sure someone will record that little sentence and post it on the BSR TC Facebook group for me later, where I'll be like, Alex, the onus is on you because you're the car that's always on behind.
Yeah, that'll be the one.
Sod you all, anyone who does it. I'm going to stick my nose in there.
Someone needs to bring up the Twitch clip from Paul Smith's stream a couple of weeks ago. Not saying that again. There's Jason Cooper then, coming into the final few corners. And it's been great working for Apex Racing TV, I must say, before Alex fires me for that comment. Here is Jason Cooper then, out the final corner. Dominant performance, as always. The #1 car finishing in first place for Swift Cooper Esports. they're just absolutely annihilating, aren't they, Alex? They're just brilliant, awesome.
Yeah, really strong. Just pulled away from everyone. There's some serious talent behind him, and yeah, they just couldn't keep with him.
Delmont good finishing fourth there. Ayres and Hefford, Simlab second and third, and obviously Hampson fifth. There is Luke Cooper, a bit of a quiet race for him in sixth, with Van Gool and Beard eighth, and that is Adam McNally in ninth place. Nick McCarron top 10 finish, he'll be happy with that. And it's followed by Charlie Summers. Max Wright takes the AM class win. Ashton and McRitchie very close over the line together there. Mikey Key second in AM. He'll be a bit gutted about that after Maxwell went off earlier, but great scrapping all the way through. Look at these boys coming across the line. This is Rob Graham, Carl Hardy, Stuart Dick, Roy Verke, Jeroen Ursum is in there as well. Just behind these guys is David Ayres as well, so all the way from 25th to 30th. Still very close between Am and obviously Stuart Dick in there, a pro driver as well. Just shows the great mix that even in race one that we have all the way up and down the order there, Alex.
Yeah, I tell you what, the midfield battle seemed a lot closer than the front. There was definitely a divide. The front few seemed to be just in a little bit of different jumps in performance there, and I think that comes down to the track. Is perhaps, I mean, Virginia is a tough track anyway, but then this layout is not so well known as well. So there's definitely, you can see the drivers who naturally get up to speed very quickly, and the drivers that perhaps have done a little bit more practice than some of the others, because yeah, there was a lot larger gaps than I honestly thought there would be.
Yeah, it was a bit more spread out, really. I mean, it's quite a flowing circuit, so you have to keep your momentum up, but there's fast sections and slow sections, and usually because of that, a circuit of this nature tends to bunch the field up. But yeah, like you say, the field did spread out quite a bit there, but it's good to see though, because sometimes when as you can imagine with these MX5s, we go to a lot of tracks where slipstream becomes quite a heavy effect, and while it does close up the racing and make it exciting for us, as a driver it makes it very frustrating, because you're putting in the pace and you know you're quicker than someone on a twisty bit of track, and then come down a straight and someone will just, well, absolutely rinse you in a straight line, and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's see, there is your race results, of course. Jason Cooper taking the win, with Jamie Ayres in second place, making it 2 Simlab.
We might have lost Chaz again of all craziness, or it could just be Discord playing up. So yeah, we'll just confirm the final standing. So Cooper from Ayres, Hefford, Delmer, Hampson, Cooper, Peter Van Gaal in 7th, Ashley Beard in 8th, Adam McNally 9th, Karen gets a top 10 after just sitting there waiting patiently. Charlie Summers, Max Wright takes the AM win. Then it's Jack Ashton, James McRitch, Mikey Key, Solo Patton, Alex Cherney, Joe McDonald rounding out your top 18. All of the rest of your finishers on screen at the moment. A few retirees down there. 33rd, Martin Plowman, 7 laps down, not able to get a reverse grid spin. Scott Malcolm, Alex Rivette, did not see what happened to those guys, and that is it. Right, let me get this reverse grid wheel up, and we'll give it a spin, and we'll work out who's going to be on pole for the next race. Big decent spin. I think we're going to miss the fall, but it's going to fall -1, but it's going to be 40th, which actually is a full-blown fall then, with the number of people that we've got. Let's go back to the sim, see who that is going to be. So it's the highest driver, 1 lap or less down. No, results. Okay, so that will be Anthony Ainsworth that will be on pole. Cesaro Rizzo will be in second. David Ayres, Jeroen Ursum, Roy Verke, Stuart Dick, Carl Hardy, Rob Graham, Andy Maxwell, and Michael Bortman will round out your top 10 in the grid. Right, stick with us. We'll be back here, Apex Racing TV, and on the iRacing Esports Network for race number 2 of the BSR MX5 Pro Series Cup, round number 10, International Raceway. Alex Simpson, Chaz Draycott. We'll be back in a sec.
the chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network for the BSR MX5 Pro Series. I am Chaz Draycott, I haven't completely disappeared. I'm with Alex Simpson, who's doing the cameras as well tonight. And we're back here for the second race of the evening. A bit better conditions this time, actually. Alex, sky's looking a bit clearer, so maybe these guys might have to think about the differing track conditions.
Yeah, just looking at the temperature, 24 degrees, so it's going to be interesting because the tyres just won't last quite the same as they have done. So, yeah, just see how that affects a bit more understeer out there as well. Obviously, the part of the conditions, so it's going to make it a little bit more challenging for the drivers.
And of course, this time round, we have the reverse grid to think about. So, some of the AMs will be near the front of the field, and some of the pro drivers that obviously finished high up in the first race will be a bit further down. So, be interesting to see them try and make their way through, because as we said before, not the widest of circuits in the world, this one, so it should be quite interesting to see where they try and make the moves and how patient they are when they make their way through the field.
Yeah, we should get the grid in just a moment, but it looked like an interesting grid. Definitely some split, I think, where drivers have not had such a very good first round, so we could see them fighting at the very front, but definitely an opportunity for some good results for sort of AM drivers as well.
Yeah, they might have a bit more of a chance here of holding up some of the pro drivers. Of course, we were saying in race one how important it is to get a good run out of that final corner. Such a really long straight here that any bit of momentum that you can gain through those last couple of corners is going to be oh so important as we head to the grid right now to see how they all line up. Anthony Ainsworth then will be on pole position for Fury Simsport, with Cesare Rizzo alongside him on the front row. They're followed by David Ayres and Jeroen Ersum on row 2, with Roy Viverke and Stuart Dick on row 3. Carl Hardy and Rob Graham are 7th and 8th, with Andy Maxwell in 9th. Michael Wortman is 10th. Benjamin Mears will be 11th, with Brian Holmes in 12th place. He's got to be eyeing up a win from there, to be honest with you. Kip Stevens is 13th, Ralph Cullen in 14th. Joe McDonald in 15th, with Alex Cherney 16th. Marcelo Panion is 17th, Mike Hickey is 18th, James McRitchie is 19th, and Jack Ashton rounds out your top 20. The lights are beginning to come on now then, as the drivers... Actually, I say that. Rob Graham and Alex Cherney have not yet taken to the grid. I thought they were coming on.
Yeah, Max Wright as well. Anyone else? No, that's it. Yeah. 33. We must be missing a few people this week, I think. So.
Yeah, I think we had 35 in first race. Here are the lights then. The revs build with them. A couple of guys have got pit lane starts to this race by the look of it. McDonald and Cherney and Graham. The lights are out there away. Great getaway there from Cesare Rizzo for SimLab. He's the highest placed pro driver on the grid, so he's going to be looking to get out front here, Alex, and try and take a possible win if he can run away from these from these AM guys. But it's not always a definite measure of pace. Let's look at them late on the brakes. Everyone trying to take it as late as possible there. Van Gool's gone off on the outside. You can see him subsequently dropping down the order. But that's just one of them things, isn't it, Alex? Like I was saying before, you get two wheels on the grass, especially on lap 1. You don't want to come on and collect everyone else. Who's that around? That's Stuart Dick in the asymmetric car. He's spun it through the left-hander. I don't know whether he had contact. Sounds like there's a bit more, but Rizzo is in the lead now, running away from Anthony Ainsworth. Yeah,
I thought Rizzo would be a good shout for a win on this one. Pro driver, of course, second on the grid. Got a good start, got up into the lead. And now needs to pull away. Ayres potentially having a little look on Ainsworth as well. You've got Jeroen Ersum and Roy Viverke right there as well. So, yeah, good start for everyone. Like I say, just a couple of people dropped down the order. So nothing too major, no major incidents to sort of report on. Just those, like I said, those couple of spins.
David Ayres here putting Anthony Ainsworth under real pressure in the Result clothing car. You can see both of these drivers are AM category drivers from the little green highlights on the windscreen banners. Trying to be as defensive as possible here is Ainsworth. He's just running his lines, doing everything he can. Out the final corner then. The thing is, Ayres isn't that far back, so he's not going to get a massive slipstream from it. You can just see the gains that he's getting there.
Viverke just getting your own behind as well. See that on the timing tower.
Yeah.
So with this one though, as he has a little look, going to be late on the brakes. The Fury Sport car good on the brakes, but doesn't quite get the turn in. Jump back to Anthony, and we see that David Ayres completes the pass pretty cleanly and pretty easily, I have to say.
Yeah, no contact or anything to report from that one. Did it very nicely, and he now, of course, leads the AM category. So, all important for Ayres to try and run away from this now, because if he can get a bit of a gap on Ainsworth, which, well, he runs wide there and doesn't quite make the gap up, but if he can put a gap between himself and the other guys, then he's well in with a shot of an AM category win. Brian Holmes is 4th here at the moment, Alex. He's gained 8 places already. I said he might be one to watch for a win, and, well, he's not proven me wrong, at least. Anthony Ainsworth trying something there on David Ayres, but now he's run wide. Ayres defends it very strongly through this little flowing section. He's going to be chasing him down as best he can. But he's got to think about Brian Holmes in his rear view mirror now, because Brian's going to want to take advantage of these guys and go chasing after Rizzo, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we're still only on lap 2, so you'd think you'd have enough time. Of course, the race now, it says 25 minutes at the top there, but of course it's actually only 10 laps, so we get rid of the time. Because here he comes though, Brian, with a good exit out the final corner. It gets a little bit of a squeeze, but he's still got the slipstream of Ayres ahead, so I think he's definitely going. Oh, it's even more of a squeeze. He was thinking about trying to come out wide to see if he can get Ayres at the same time, wasn't he? But in the end, yeah, he has to sort of settle back in. Oh, and Ainsworth again just deep into turn 1, gifting the position. Oh, who's that? That's our race leader, Cesaro Rizzo.
No, son, what's he doing? He had a nightmare at Kota a couple of weeks back, and he's had a nightmare now. Is he going to dip a wheel on the grass?
I mean, this race was his for the taking. Not under any pressure here at all. What did he do?
No, just laying the brakes.
Just missed his braking point by a mile as well. It's like, that's like 2 braking markers that he's missed there. He's like, oh, where do I brake? I've forgotten. Oh, it was back there.
Well, hopefully he can make the places back up a little bit. He's dropped down to, well, he's just gone back up into 4th, past Roy Viverke. Couple of movers and shakers, like you say. Jason Cooper's up 13 places. His teammate Charlie Summers is up 11. Jamie Ayres is up 11 as well. So is Marcelo Panion. So it's all the Swift Cooper cars, and obviously one of the SimLab cars. Brian Holmes up 10 places now, and he is 2nd, chasing down David Ayres. And this is for the overall race win, and of course both class leads. Ainsworth will be rubbing his hands together here, hoping that Brian slows down David Ayres with whatever move he makes. You can see the differing lines there. Look at the momentum. Ayres went a bit deep into the first corner, but then that left him a bit vulnerable for the second part. And look how much he's lost out now, Alex. That just shows how important the lines are around that sector of the track.
Yeah, so key to get a good exit on this back straight. I think it's going to be fairly easy for Brian. I say it's going to be easy. He's going to have to outbrake him. Oh, got a back marker coming out of the pits as well. That's
Rob Graham.
A bit interesting, but yeah, deep on the brakes for Brian, gets the move done, and actually Ainsworth nails the braking. Oh, and then gets a little bit sideways coming out of there.
Again.
Yeah, just overshooting, and I think he's going to lose a place to Viverke. He has indeed. So, yeah, and Panion passed him as well. So, yeah, Rizzo just not having fun out there at the moment, struggling with this Virginia circuit.
Yeah, and as you were saying at the top of the broadcast, it's a very demanding track. There's no there's curbs here and there, but other than this section they're going through now, you can't really take too many prisoners with running wide or just dipping a wheel onto the grass or anything, because it's all so important for your momentum. You can just dip one little wheel on there, just even half of your tyre width, and it'll take you around. Rizzo down the inside then of Viverke on the brakes. He did that very nicely and clung it to the apex. Great stuff to see. Ainsworth all over the place on exit there, really trying to get on the power as early as possible. But Brian Holmes is starting to run away at the front at the moment. David Ayres is going with him though. Marcelo Panion now up to 3rd. What a drive he's having, 14 places gained. Jason Cooper is the biggest mover in the field. 16th place, 16 places gained. So great stuff from the number 1 machine again. Race 1 winner, of course. And here's Viverke having a go at Anthony Ainsworth side by side. You'll see the differing lines now. Look at your own Urson behind them. Oh, he's run a bit wide actually. And Carl Hardy, fantastic run through there. He's got it done. And well, your Urson's doing a bit of rally cross on the grass there, taking the car over the jumps. But this is a great little scrap between these boys here, Alex. They're all absolutely going at it. They're just, no one's afraid of anyone in this league, and that's what we love about it. Yeah,
these top 3 really broke away now. I need to go back to this battle because it's just absolutely kicking off. But yeah, Ayres going with Holmes, it would appear. So good on David using Brian as for the bit of slipstream and might be able to hold on. We're halfway through this race already.
Yeah, it's flown by already. Anthony Ainsworth defending for his life here from Roy Ververke, Carl Hardy. Charlie Summers is making his way through this as well. He's gained 15 places now. So one of the pro drivers really making strides through the field. We've got a great snake of cars. I mean, not sure whether it's worth bringing up the timing screen on the left-hand side, Alex, with the intervals, because we get on our timing screen a little indicator of what colour the gaps are. When it's yellow and orange, it's under a second. Look how close all these boys are together. When it's orange, it's under half a second, so that just goes to show how close it is. Oh,
there was 3 Excite cars actually that were. Oh, someone into the barrier, into the plastic runoff area there. So I think on a race day it would be okay, but that's solid here on racing. They don't move.
Yeah, they don't quite have the sort of lightweight plastic built into them. I think they're drilled into the concrete ground here. Anthony Ainsworth is going red on the timing screen on the left. That usually means he's got what is called an incident point within iRacing. If you don't already know, he's either off the track or having contact with someone, and he's dropping down the order, so I don't think he's having contact with that many people at once. There he is, he's off wide, and so is one of the asymmetric cars. That's James McRitchie. Ainsworth trying to come on safely again, but he's lost all that ground now. Really unfortunate for him, but that means for Roy Ververke that the mission now, Alex, is to go after David Ayres as Panion is up to second in the chase of Brian Holmes.
Yeah, and what sort of lap times? He was quicker by nearly half a second that last lap as well, so if he can do that, that'll be okay, but of course he won't have the slipstream this time, so it's not going to be quite so easy. Say that, he will have the slipstream because he's right there. So,
Look at that.
Yeah, getting my timing figures just a little bit wrong there.
Oh, it's all good, it happens to the best of us. If you could, our timing screens look like, you'd appreciate how much info we get given. It's an incredible bit of software that we're provided with, very grateful to be using it. But Brian Holmes is not going to be grateful to have Marcelo Panion in his rearview mirror right now, Alex. He's just going to be thinking, just go away, just leave me alone. I just want to win this race. He would have thought it would have been easy, but Marcelo proving the point that Swift Cooper Esports do not mess about, and, well, to be fair, if you just look at the results from this season from him, we know that that's not the case. He's getting just closer and closer every corner. Alex reads my mind and goes on board with him. This is what we want to see. Got the telemetry in the bottom right there. You can see what gear he's in, what speed he's doing. Look at him trying to line it up. He's taking it easy through the last corner, trying to keep it smooth, use as little lock as possible. Brian's on the curbs, car gets a little out of shape. And now, because Panion's coming from so far back, he's going to have a monumental slipstream. Look at the gains he's got there. He's got to decide where he's going to go. There's only one place to go if you're going into turn one, and that is down the inside and try and get it late on the brakes. Summers is going down the order, but we'll look at that in a second. See the car squirreling on the brakes. Beautifully done by Marcelo Panion. Clings it to the apex, but here comes Brian. He's coming back at him. He's on the grass trying to get this done. He's going to burn the outside for the left-hander, though. Panion on the favoured line on the inside. Here's the slower section of this double left-hander. Panion's still on the inside. Oh, just gets the overlap and stays ahead. Brian's still very close to the back of him. They've both got to just think about points now and be careful not to trip over one another. David Ayres in the background there, still doing a great job. Well, this is fantastic for Marcelo Panion. He's shown great pace since joining Swift Cooper Esports, and he's doing those boys proud. I remember in his first meeting, actually, that we commentated on, Alex, he just he came out of nowhere and surprised us all, didn't he? And he's not slowed down since.
No, he had phenomenal pace in that meeting. Didn't go too well, I think. Got collected a few things, but yeah, he's learned certainly how to drive around this field. That's a big part of these BSR series and sprint races. You have to adapt to the kind of racing it is.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to get used to the people around you as well. And that's one of the best things about the British sim races. A lot of these guys do race together in multiple series, so they know what to expect when they're up against different competitors. And obviously, with them doing different series in different cars, obviously everyone has different sort of pace levels in each machine, which is always quite interesting to see from a racer's standpoint, and obviously a spectator and commentator's standpoint. So we see Jack Ashton now. Well, that was I didn't know whether he was going to get that done or not yet, but that was a really, really nicely sort of executed manoeuvre on Roy Ververke. You can just see he lined it up, smashed the apex, and got a great run through. And I think he's probably going to have it done as we look here at Carl Hardy, Andy Maxwell, and Jason Cooper. Jason Cooper has gained 25 positions, Alex. That's just, well, it's the reason he's got a number one on his car, isn't it, really?
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how he does it, but these guys just sneak through the field. There you go. You can see Panion though, 16 places gained. Can't take anything away from that, especially even Brian as well with 10. But yeah, biggest mover at the moment is Jason Cooper. I can't believe he's not at the top of the championship. I think he's missed a couple of rounds and well, he's just been caught up in incidents in others when making his way through. It's easy to be done. It's not always your own fault. But Andy Maxwell, great job so far for Year 1 racing. He's been posting some of his results in the Facebook groups when he's been racing these boys. He's really been enjoying it. It's great to see that it's translating into good pace for him. And this is a great snake of cars we've got going on here, Alex.
Yeah, a lap 8 of 10 as well, and it's still this close. So much closer than what we had in race 1. So Wortman dropping down into the wall. Lost a few places there. Unfortunately, down 6 now for this race.
Yeah, it's not quite gone his way there. Bit of damage on that car as well, so he's been in the wars slightly at some point. Well, you'd sort of expect that, really. I remember speaking to Steve Hefford a couple of weeks ago after a race meeting where he seemed to have no pace at all, and he was explaining to me that the front of these cars are so aero-dependent. You wouldn't really think it with it being based on so closely on the standard car, but yeah, if you ruin the front end of this car, it seems to knock out so much of the pace, and especially with the slipstream as it is down straights like this, you just lose a hell of a lot of time over the course of a lap, and in the course of a race it all adds up, of course. One more lap to go after this one then. David Ayres still leading the AM category, Marcelo Panion in the lead of the race, and he has a good 1.5 seconds now over Brian Holmes, Alex, so he's just showing that the pace wasn't down to the fact that he was chasing Brian, it's just been there all along.
Yeah, exactly. Pulled away. Don't know what happened to Brian in terms of the last lap, because I would have thought he'd have been able to keep with the slipstream. But yeah, another greatest of laps, sort of mid 38. I lost a whole second that lap. It's all about this little pack though. With 2 laps to go, it's just getting tastier and tastier. Stevens up there. Of course, he lost out on the sort of penultimate lap on the last race as well, so we won't want to do that again.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, bit of contact there as well. I think Carl Hardy. Someone ran into the back of him. One of the Swift Cooper Esports cars is involved in that as well. I think that's Luke Cooper. We look at Kip Stevens there leading this massive gaggle of cars. I don't know how they're all sorting themselves out through there because, well, I don't think I'd be able to drive that bit of the track on my own, to be honest with you. Never mind in a group like that. I think I'd crumble from stress and just put it in the wall. But they're all managing to do it, and that's why this series has become so great. These guys race with each other each week, at least twice a week, so they get used to what to expect, and obviously it gives us the close racing that we know and love. Exactly a second there, as you can see, between Panion and Holmes' lap times, both .812s, but Panion 136.812, Brian Holmes 137.812. So it just shows the pace difference. He's a second a lap quicker. It's just crazy, as we see Ashton still having a go at Andy Maxwell, and I mean, not to put anything on it, but as an AM driver, he's defending for his life. Oh, Ashton finds the gap. How did he do that? He just squeezed through the gap there between Summers and Maxwell. He's still not got the move done, though, because Andy's just defending better than I've seen anyone defend in ages. Summers sends it up the inside.
Yeah.
Properly. Get in there, son. I know you're loving that, Alex. You love a good send up the inside, don't you, like that?
Indeed I do.
Ashton's still trying everything. Summers eventually Ashton succumbs to the pressure, and then he's got, of course, Jason Cooper in there as well, trying to get involved. But all this time, Andy Maxwell's running away with it, laughing all the way to the bank. He's loving it.
He's 3 seconds clear now. And what is going on?
How's he doing?
Absolutely lit it up. I mean, that was a good lap from Holmes, 37.8, but that's
his personal best. That
still a second slower. Yeah, that's crazy.
Looking at it as well, to be fair, Panion's fastest lap, I think, is the fastest lap of the race. No, that's a lie, actually. You're not going to believe this. He did a 36.17. Jason Cooper did a 35.6.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
just mad. Well, here he is then. Marcelo Panion, your dominant race 2 winner, to be honest with you. Brian Holmes, though, still happy with second place. David Ayres' overall podium is going to be great for him. He's going to be happy with that. Oh, no, Andy Maxwell's going down the order, Alex. That's not what we want to see. He's not showing us off the track. I think he might have just run wide or something at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's a shame. But even still, second place in the AM category. There's your AM winner, David Ayres. He'll be very, very grateful for that for result clothing. Look at them just all streaming down the straight.
I literally do not know where to click. I can't keep up with them crossing the start finish.
It's like a swarm of bees just flying down this straight. Bright, colourful Japanese bees with roll cages. There's Max Wright in 26th place. He might have had a bit of an eventful race down there in the order. It says he only got 2 off tracks in that one, so it might have just been a case of survival. But once again, Alex, I mean, we say it every single week. I mean, everyone's going to just get sick of us saying it, but it's just tight, close racing everywhere you look. Like you say, you don't know where to click half the time. It's just bonkers, isn't it?
When it's that close, I just got to apologise to all of the drivers that watch it back, because they're all like, "Oh, I'm in this massive battle and I haven't been shown once." It's like, where do we click? So yeah, try and give it a bit of a spread where we can.
Yeah, indeed. But still very entertaining for us, and hopefully entertaining for everybody at home. Thank you very much for watching us on the iRacing Esports Network and on Apex Racing TV. It is much appreciated, and we've got 2 more races to bring to you tonight as well. Don't forget. So we've got another at least half hour's worth of racing. And then, of course, we get the wonderful driver interviews at the end, which we all know and love. But yeah, this track, Alex, I mean, I know a lot of people don't really like it around here. Our very own Marco Barbanera seems to hate this circuit, and he was talking to us earlier, obviously, mentioning that even though he's been on iRacing for 4 years, he only just bought the circuit tonight because he despises it that much, he doesn't want to get it.
And that was only to do a broadcast, was it not?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't even want to drive it, but it just goes to show, though, that no matter what you think of this track, it does provide great racing. And, of course, there, Marcelo Pagnon winning this race 3.8 seconds ahead. So again, another 8/10 on Brian Holmes on the last lap. That's mental. David Ayres is third, winning the AM category, 10 seconds back. Cesare Rizzo in fourth, Jack Ashton in fifth, Charlie Summers in sixth place, Jason Cooper seventh, Andy Maxwell is second in the AM category in eighth. Kip Stevens, another top 10 for him. Carl Hardy is in 10th place with that's third in the AM category for him. Luke Cooper will be 11th with Roy Viverke 12th. Adam Delmont 13th, Dave Hampson 14th, Adam McNally is in 15th ahead of Jamie Ayres. Michael Wortman 17th, Nick McCarron 18th. More points for him. He'll be happy to be at least scoring on the board and keeping his championship fight alive. Behind him in 19th place is Mikey Key. 20th is James McRitchie. In 21st place we have Ashley Beard, Alex Cherney 22nd, Benjamin Mears 23rd, Jeroen Ersman 24th, Stuart Dick is 25th. Max Wright 26th, Steve Hefford in 27th place, Joe McDonald is 28th, Anthony Ainsworth, shame for him to be so far down the order after fighting up there quite early on, he's 29th, Peter Van Gool rounds out your top 30, Scott Malcolm is 31st, and the cars that were more than a lap down, Ralph Cullinan 32nd, and Rob Graham 8 laps down. I believe we saw him join on halfway through there, but I think he pulled it off to the side just to play it safe. And of course, one of Alex's favourite parts of the evening, if not the favourite part of the evening, it's going to be for the reverse grid wheel.
Straight into it, I think. With a spin. So that's going to be 4 minus 2. Indeed it is, yeah, 4 minus 2. So who is that going to be?
Well, funnily enough, his drop down the order may have actually come in handy. Anthony Ainsworth will be on pole position, alongside Joe McDonald. Steve Hefford will very interestingly be third on the grid with Max Wright fourth, and Stuart Dick will round out the top 5. So at this point, I'd say Steve Hefford's got to be the one to watch in this, but you never know with this series. So if you join me and Alex in about 10-15 minutes time, we'll be back on Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network to bring you race 3 out of 4 this evening from the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Don't go away.
share of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network and Virginia International Raceway, which is more gloomy this time for race 3 of the evening. And I'm obviously Chaz Draycott. This is Alex Simpson with me as well in the booth on the cameras tonight. And, well, we've had 2 fantastic races as always tonight, Alex, and this third one should be even more dramatic with another reverse grid on our hands.
Yep, race 3, like you say, a bit overcast conditions, a bit more grip out there throughout the race. Should be exciting. Another large reverse grid as well. Big split in terms of grid, in terms of sort of pro and am all over the place this time. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Usually elbows come out, don't they? So we might see a wreck or 2.
Indeed. Anthony Ainsworth on pole position there alongside Joe McDonald. Steve Hefford third. He's going to be my tip to win this one. Max Wright is 4th, Stuart Dick 5th, Tyrone Ursum is 6th, Ben Mears 7th with Alex Cherney, Ashley Beard, James McRitchie rounding out the top 10. Then it's Mikey Key, Nick McCarron, Michael Wortman, Jamie Ayres, Adam McNally, Dave Hampson, Adam Delmont, Roy Verver, Kayla Luke Cooper and Carl Hardy rounding out the top 20. The grid is full, the lights are on, the revs are going to rise, and for the third time tonight in the BSR MX5 Pro Series, we are underway. Anthony Ainsworth lights up the rear, Steve Hefford gets a great launch and he's already up to 2nd place as he goes past Joe McDonald in a straight line. Much darker in these conditions than it was in race 2 here, Alex. It's well, Steve Hefford straight lined it at turn 1. He's done what his teammate did, Cesare Rizzo, in race 2. So he's already lost a couple of positions from where he started now. So, well, 1 step forward and 2 steps back pretty much for Steve Hefford, isn't it?
You try and brake a bit later, don't you? But you don't really. That's the trouble. You're not hitting it at your normal speed. So it amazes me how many drivers don't practice a start, like going into turn 1 and like where your braking point is, because getting that absolute bang on and around, and Hefford spins. I think that was Joe McDonald. So yeah, McDonald got damaged. He's out. His car is toast. There's more contact as well down here. And coming out the snake. So. Well, I told you there'd be a wreck or 2.
Yeah, that was Ursum, Delmont, Panion, Jason Cooper was in there, Carl Hardy as well. Joe McDonald and Steve Hefford, yeah, they just came together through the little flowing left, right, left. And to be fair, McDonald did a great job of keeping that car out of the way completely. I think he only clipped 1 more of the Excite cars, but I think just as it was as they came back on, that's when the contact came up. But look at these 3 now away with it. Anthony Ainsworth, Stuart Dick in 2nd place in the asymmetric car, and Benjamin Mears is 3rd overall, 2nd in AM. But Stuart Dick here, Alex, he's going to be going for a pro victory.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, 3.5 seconds to the next pro, so yeah, after just 1 lap, so yeah, he's got to go for it. Ainsworth and Mears, if they can just sort of go with him, they've got a good chance of an overall podium as well as a 1 and 2 in AM. So yeah, good start from these guys.
Yeah, he takes the overall lead as well. Benjamin Mears now 2nd. There is Steve Hefford, but he's got Alex Cherney with him as well now, so it's not going to be so much of an easy ride to the front. These guys, because of those incidents, have had a chance to make their way through. There's Ainsworth.
So much for that. So that sometimes they just battle. Let's see if we can't get where Ains went off. They just do you need to battle sometimes when you're guaranteed a podium position?
Yeah. Battled with himself. If anything.
Oh man, look at that! A couple of little locks and car twitching. So take it back. Apologies.
Yeah. Well,
just don't mess up when you got a podium.
Yeah, Anthony, come on. Well, he's going to still be plugging away though. James McRitchie's up there as well with him. Ashley Beard, Jamie Ayres, Max Wright, Nick McCarron is back into the top 10 once again in the number 2 machine, 2 places gained. Real shame to see Jason Cooper involved in that first incident. Adam Delmont as well, Mikey Key. As here's a battle for the very lead of the race. These guys are really going to be hoping not to trip over each other because this is the AM class. Look at the difference in lines there. Look at how much that changes it. Oh no, as Mears catches him. Mears lost it over the curb, catches Stuart Dick and turns around. He's in the middle of the track. The guys do a great job of avoiding him. I'm not sure what the
You knew someone wasn't going to.
Yeah, Ashley being unable to avoid there, unfortunately. I was just about to say, I don't know what the guys' rallycross skills are like, but they're going to be put to the test if they're flat out over that grass there, because it is not smooth in the slightest. Steve Hefford now is actually, well, the tables are turned. Steve Hefford takes the lead of the race from Benjamin Mears. Alex Cherney's going to go chasing after him, though. Although Mears is not letting this slip from Steve Hefford here right now. Still down the inside, into the left-hander. On the apex nicely there. Alex Cherney's going to be hoping that something comes about here so he can gain in place. He's going to go round the outside of Mears. Not quite getting the overlap. Oh, he's all over the inside there. I don't know whether Cherney will get a slowdown for that. Very tricky to get the car through this little...
I think he's alright.
Right, yeah, he seems to be okay, doesn't he? Anthony Ainsworth back in the fight now as well, though. But that's just how quickly these races can change, Alex, and this is why we love it. Because one little incident at either end can just make such a big difference to the race. And, oh, well, Mears is going very wide there, so is Jamie Ayres. But it can really, really turn things around for these guys so quickly. All you've got to do is just survive the madness, I think.
Huge pack as well, coming through. Let's bring up the mini-map, please. See it. It's still snaking through. Right.
Yeah.
All the way down to sort of 14th place. About a second to Michael Walkman there. There's a little gap there, but he might be able to tag back onto this this pack. But yeah, what a huge snake that's coming through.
Oh, someone's off. That's Ainsworth. He's done it again. He's run
Nice.
wide there, and that's going to ruin his run down the straight, unfortunately. Just little costly mistakes, really, at this point, isn't it, Alex? They just well, one little run wide, and look how many places he's lost. He's still dropping down the order now, I think. Actually, he seems to have gained a bit of a gap. No, he does lose a place to Stevens as well. Fastest lap of the race with Brian Holmes, 1:35.7. That's really quick, to be fair. I don't think anyone else is in the 1:35s yet. I'm just looking down the order. They're not. He's the first car in there, and he's a couple of tenths inside it as well. So, great pace by Brian. And of course, as always...
Where was that pace in the last race, though, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, it was Marcelo Pagnon made a bit of a mug out of him, really, didn't he, in that last one? To be fair, he ran away from him. But as always, Excite cars are all together on track. Which is,
Peter Van Gool dropping down, and I think that was him in the,
yeah,
background there, just recovering. So yeah,
no look at all, does he, Peter Van Gool? He always gets caught up in little incidents here and there.
looking at Max Wright, he's second in AM now. What is he? He's about 2.8 seconds behind Benjamin Mears, so probably he's got to catch up for a AM win. So a few cars ahead of him. Not going to be easy, that's for sure, because he's under a bit of cosh. Under the cosh, sorry, for Luke Cooper behind him at the moment.
Yeah, Luke's a very quick driver. He's been out in the Formula Ford car as well as of late. Back on track for this season. He's been posting things on Facebook about how much he's enjoying his time in the car again. And it's great to see that these guys as well, a lot of these drivers actually do racing outside of this in the real world, not just the virtual one that we all know and love. Adam McNally there trying to line up a move on Luke Cooper. As they go down the straight, Luke looks like he's coming over slightly. Just about not making contact. He's literally pushing him down the straight. He's Adam McNally. Fastest lap of the race, Jamie has 1:35.1. 6 tenths quicker. You can just see how much the track's actually getting quicker here. It might be getting cooler because there's no sunlight on it. But that's an incredibly quick lap compared to Brian Holmes' 1:35.7 that before now was the fastest lap of the race. There's a lot of pro guys here actually, Alex, getting stuck behind Max Wright, and these Excite boys fighting isn't going to help that really, is it?
No, not at all. I'll tell you what, Max is a driver that defends hard. Doesn't matter if you're pro, you're AM, he wants the position in the race. That's all he cares about, not necessarily his class one. So, you know, both are good, can be a good and a bad thing, because sometimes the pro drivers will bully him out of the way, and he gets involved in an incident or two that he won't want to be involved in. But yeah, just fair play to him to always want to hold on to that, and see you there, right, defending from Luke Cooper. What it does do is it stops him from closing up on Mears. You know, you kind of almost want to use these guys, but of course what he doesn't want to do is get shuffled down the order, does he? So, which could easily happen, because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pro drivers tucked up behind him, and you let one go and they all start to flow through, don't you? And that 2.8 seconds becomes, 5. And
yeah, it's well, like we saw with the case of Anthony Ainsworth before. Sounds like the name of a book, doesn't it? Cherney off. I think Cherney's just about to become the new example for that. Yeah, he's run wide at the last corner, and he's lost 2 places, even though with a big gap either side of them. You can just see how spread out they were. Ainsworth before just runs wide at the last corner, and he loses a handful of places in the blink of an eye. And like you say, Alex, that's how easy it is to do. So you've got to be really careful when defending these places, that you don't do it too hard and don't sort of attack the car in front too much either, because in the long run it'll slow you and the other guys down that are competing with you. As we look at Ralph Cullinan, Rob Graham just ahead of these guys as well. Michael Waltman there getting involved, the American.
Yeah, a few battles a little bit further back.
As we look at Benjamin Mears now, still under pressure from Alex Cherney. But it's great to see Mears defending so well. I believe he won the AM Championship. I don't know whether he won the overall one last year, or whether it was just one of these mini-series these guys do. If you don't know, the BSR MX5 Pro Series, before it was the Pro Series, used to do 4 mini-seasons. There was the Spring, Summer, Autumn and Winter Series. They split it into 4 and then had an overall one as well to contribute to. I believe Steve Hefford actually won the overall championship. The reason Jason Cooper is the #1 car is because he won the Winter Series. But I believe it was Benjamin Mears who won the overall AM one. I'll have to get that confirmed. And I do apologise to whoever won it if it wasn't Ben. But he's showing his worth here, Alex. And, well, Cherney's not having the easiest of times getting past. He's still trying it down the straight now. He might get it done here. But it's taken him long enough, hasn't it? I mean, we're over halfway through the race.
Yeah, well, yeah, lap 7 of 10, so, you know, very much so. And he's going to get by, just needs to do it on the brakes here, because Mears could go around the outside, potentially. Doesn't.
Could try a cutback.
Oh, we might get the undercut. Yeah, up and under there, but doesn't happen.
Yeah, it was nicely blocked off by Cherney, to be fair. He just kept it on the apex, made sure the gap wasn't there for Mears to go for. Mears is a feisty racer, so he probably saw it coming. Max Wright still defending here. He's lost a place to Ashton and Cooper and a couple of others as well, actually. So, like you say, you don't lose just one at a time, really, do you? You've lost a couple there, but he's still in the fight, though. It's not like he's dropped off from them, is it?
It's true, but he is 4.8 seconds back now from... sorry, not quite 4.8. 4.3 seconds back. So, that's the thing, just natural, you know, the way the race sort of expands out a little bit there, you know. He's losing time on Mears, so you can understand why he wants to try and stay ahead of these guys. So, but it's not going to be. Mears is tucked up in the slipstream of Cherney. Well, not so much quite now, but still very much getting it. 0.6 of a second back, so I can't think Max is going to have any chance really now with just what's going to be 3 laps to go.
Yeah, even if they were sort of next to each other on track, and well, if they didn't have those pro drivers between them, that would be a big ask, to be fair, of Max Wright. So Nick McCarron, there you can hear the car running wide on the grass as he comes through. He's lost a place, and another. McRitchie has also crossed over there with him. McNally gains 2 for 1. McCarron still dropping down the order. He's still off the track. I don't know quite what's happened there, whether he's run really, really far wide and taking his time getting back on and just played it safe, because everyone does tend to wash out wide out of that last corner. So when you do rejoin, you have to be so careful not to come on too aggressively and come across the track in front of them. Teammates here have Jack Ashton and Adam McNally. These Excite cars are always together on track. If you've not seen the series before, it is almost a running joke, really, that these cars hunt in packs. They're never just alone on track. There's always 2 of them next to each other consecutively. But I suppose that's teamwork. They're trying to chase down Luke Cooper. They've then got McRitchie, Stevens, Wright, Holmes, Hampson, McCarron in there as well. Here is Brian Holmes, side by side with Max Wright. That's really close round there. Fantastic respect from both of them to get through there cleanly, and Brian's got the move done. That was great to see. Cesare Rizzo's off in the background. Rob Graham is apparently off the track as well. But that was awesome by Brian Holmes. That I'd like to see that again, if I'm honest with you, Alex. That was great racing between the 2 of them, not to make any contact and get through. I say, oh, there goes Max Wright. It's literally as if I was commentators cursing it, but on someone else. And Max Wright and Dave Hampson. That's how easy it is.
And that's the reason why sometimes you don't fight these pro guys. You know, when it's not actually for a class position. He's just lost himself what was second in the AMs there, just for battling hard. You know, he wasn't going to win. He could have just sort of conceded a little bit. It's not going to affect his points too much or anything like that in terms of the bonuses he gets for showdown and stuff. So yeah, swings and roundabouts there. So I think we've mentioned it before about big picture driving sometimes, and yeah, that's what can happen.
Well, now, big picture driving needs to be what's on the mind of Benjamin Mears. He's 4th overall. He's not really dropped off from Alex Cherney, to be fair. It just shows how much pace he's got in the bank. But he's 4th at the moment. Anthony Ainsworth is 13th. So he's not got too much to worry about. A little bit wide there, but it adds to the excitement for him, I suppose. He's probably just going to play it cool, and just get these last few laps out of the way and hope that that mad train of cars we just saw in the background there of Cooper, McNally, Ashton, McRitchie, Stevens and Holmes doesn't catch up too quickly, but I'm sure he'll be pretty safe at the pace he's at the moment. Just trying to see who has got the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Jamie Ayres has got 1:35.1. Can't see anybody in the 1:34s. I wasn't really expecting to, if I'm honest. I think, yeah, it is Jamie Ayres, 1:35.1. Steve Hefford, race leader, is 1:35.7. Other than that, there's only another 1:35.7, which is Brian Holmes. So the pace is definitely there for those boys tonight. As we go on board now with Adam McNally chasing down Luke Cooper in the number 35 car. He did inherit that number from Jason Cooper, who was number 35 last season. He's now number 1. Luke Cooper was number 6 before. And that has now gone to his teammate Alex Cherney, so it's like some sort of number swapping game. There's a bit of rally crossing for you. Look at the momentum that Cooper has lost there, though. Even though McNally went wide as well, it was just that extra bump lifted the rear end up of the car, and McNally's just going to breeze through here. Well, he's on the outside of turn 1 here, Alex. He's got to get it right on the brakes and make sure he gets a good exit.
Yeah, he will have the inside for the next corner if he can just hold around the outside. A bit deep. Has he still got a bit of an overlap? He has. That's good, but Luke's not going to want to give this up. Oh, they're into each other again.
That's great racing. Rubbing is racing. I love that camera out of turn 1. That really showed how much of an overlap they had. But wow, that was as close as you're going to get to an incident without actually having one. As Ashton follows his teammate through, and oh no, there's McRitchie all out of shape. Hopefully he saves that. I think he kept it together. He did, yeah, he didn't lose too much time either, but as I was saying before, Excite cars hunting packs, and both of them have gone through now past Luke Cooper. And now Ashton's going to go past McNally as well. Not quite sure what Adam's playing at there, whether he's slowing down or something for Cooper, but this is a great battle for second place, really. This has sort of popped up out of nowhere. We saw Cherney catching up with Ayres before, but now he's right on him, and these are the last few corners of the race as well, so whether he goes to remove or not is up to him, of course, but remains to be seen. Here is Steve Hefford then through the final few corners, and I hate to say I told you so, but he's going to take the race win despite the action on the first lap. Great to see him back on the top step again for SimLab. Steve Hefford at number 72 takes race 3 of 4 this evening. Jamie Ayres is just going to beat Alex Cherney over the line. Great scrap towards the end there. Benjamin Mears is going to win the AM category, 4th place overall. He'll be very happy with that. Great drive, very well deserved, to be honest. Side by side there between McNally and I believe that was Cooper as well. Cooper just beating him to the line. They almost do identical lap times that time around as well. McCarron just outside the top 10, more points for him, and with Kip Stevens as well, he finishes 9th. Here's Dave Hampson side by side with Ralph Cullinan. Sorry, it's David Ayres, not Ralph Cullinan. Cullinan finished ahead. He just beats Ayres to the line. But that's what these long straights produce, to be fair, isn't it, Alex? You get a lot of side-by-side action if people get a good run out of the final corner.
Yeah, and I tell you that final corner does make for some, for some great final lap battles there. So it's very easy just to get it a little wrong, and then you're a little bit of victim to the slipstream as well. So, right, where are we? Let's clear this off. We're still waiting for a few people to come across the start-finish line, though. Who we got still out there?
Just having a quick look, actually.
And Rizzo, I think, maybe.
Oh.
And Rizzo stopped just short of the start-finish line.
Has that run out of fuel?
Someone give him a push.
Yeah.
Someone's just come across, but yeah, maybe.
Well, that's a shame for Rizzo. It's rolling backwards, yeah, so I think he's run out of fuel. Not quite sure what else it could be, really.
That's it. Tow it off, Rizzo. Let's do the results, please.
His teammates are going to push him. Yeah. Here you go. That's Jamie Ayres pushing. It's like a traffic light. Jamie Ayres pushing Steve Hefford, pushing Cesare Rizzo.
Not going to end well.
No, all it takes is for one of them to serpentine too much. Hefford gets out of the way and lets Jamie do the honours. They're going to do a little side-by-side flurry to the line, and they're going to go 3 wide. It'll be very entertaining for us if they do. Jamie has given it everything. There he goes. Cesare Rizzo crosses the line, then finishes the race in 27th position.
And with that, I can bring the results up.
Thank you very much, SimLab. Steve Hefford then, and Jamie Ayres, 1-2 finish with SimLab. Didn't highlight that really, to be honest, but very well deserved by those boys. Alex Cherney making sure that Swift Cooper Esports get another podium up there. Benjamin Mears winning the AM category there 4th place overall. Jack Ashton in 5th, Luke Cooper 6th, Adam McNally in 7th for Excite iRacing with Brian Holmes in 8th. Kip Stevens is 9th, and James McRitchie rounds out your top 10. Nick McCarron, once again, scoring decent points with Anthony Ainsworth in 2nd place in AM, with Michael Wortman 3rd. Andy Maxwell, Roy Ververke and Ralph Cullinan just missing out on an AM podium as well, not too far behind either. Dave Hampson is 17th, David Ayres is 18th overall in the result clothing car. Max Wright is 19th, Master Companion finishes 20th, Scott Malcolm 21st, Rob Graham 22nd, Carl Hardy in 23rd, Stuart Dick is 24th. Jason Cooper falling short because of the incident early on in the race, but if you look at those top 24, Alex, only 41 seconds separating 24 cars. That's an incredibly close field, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think, if I just back it up just a little bit here, and that's even closer, Paige,
Yeah, 30 seconds with the top 18. That's just brilliant. Absolutely awesome to see. And, yeah, like I say, highlights the competitiveness of this championship. There's a hell of a lot of talent in this series, and a lot of very, very quick drivers. And they do put a lot of time into it, so it's great to see that it pays off for a lot of them. And that would mean now, then, that for the 3rd and final time tonight, Alex, you get to get the spinny wheel out.
Indeed I do. Here we go. Just the large numbers coming out to play tonight, then. 40th, just.
Only just, but it still ticks over. So that would mean then that it would be a full reverse grid. And, well, Mystic Meg, as we call him, Jeroen Ursum will be on pole position with Cesare Rizzo alongside him on the front row. And then, well, I'll tell you what, if this isn't a good second row, then I don't know what is. Charlie Summers and Jason Cooper of Swift Cooper Esports with Stuart Dick in 5th place. And Alex's reaction says it all. If you don't think that Charlie Summers and Jason Cooper are going to win this race, no offence to Cesare Rizzo and Jeroen Ursum, then, well, you're probably betting on the wrong people. So if you join Alex and I for the final time tonight in about 10-15 minutes time on the iRacing Esports Network, we will bring you the 4th and final race of the night, which most likely will be under lights, so it's going to get pretty spicy. See you in a few. Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live for the final race tonight from Virginia International Raceway of the BSR MX5 Pro Series. I'm Chaz Draycott alongside Alex Simpson, who's also on the cameras tonight. And we've had 3 great races, as per usual, from this frantic championship. And we're once again under lights now, Alex, for the final race of the night. This should just get more and more exciting, shouldn't it?
Well, I think the last race was exciting if you like a bit of everything. Some great racing, some great battling, a couple of little coming together, some big wreck here and there. And I think, this is exactly what we're going to get again in this one. Throw in the dark into the mix makes it all the more interesting.
It certainly does, and of course makes it more difficult for these guys as well. Alex and I were discussing in the break that this track is not actually lit up really in any way, and there's no lights around the edges of the circuit, and you can see there from the some of the scenic shots we're getting, you don't really get any second chances here. There's a lot of grass for you to run off on, and the track is literally just grass everywhere, so you go a tiny bit wide, you're going to dip a wheel on the grass, maybe even spin the car, run wide, and you're going to lose a lot of momentum. We've seen a lot of it already tonight, and in the dark that's only going to get more and more difficult. So one thing to focus on though, sorry Alex, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, let's hope the lights actually light up the braking boards, because I know the lighting is quite focused in the direction that the car's going. It doesn't spread out too far, so that could be very interesting when it's pitch black, because you might not see anything.
Yeah, it'll be, I would say a wake-up call to these guys, but you never know, in the dark might fall asleep. We've got a fantastic second row of the grid, though. Jason Cooper and Charlie Summers, and well, as I said just at the end of the last race, I reckon they're probably going to be, one of them at least is going to be on for a win here, Alex, because, well, we've seen what Swift Cooper Esports are like. They don't muck about, do they?
No, not at all. They've been quick all night as well, so in fairness, there's a few teams that we come to see at the very top of the standings that have been quick all night in different times. So, like, Panion was super quick, but Brian Holmes was super quick in the last one. So yeah, I think depending on how good of a start some of the others have, I think we might see them challenge these Swift Cooper guys that are on the front row. Otherwise, they're going to run away with it.
And the session has now advanced as such. So we'll be getting the grid any second now as the drivers line up. Jeroen Ursum will be on pole position for XI Racing Academy. He's going to be alongside Cesare Rizzo for SimLab. And there is that second row. Charlie Summers third, Jason Cooper fourth. Stuart Dick is fifth, Racermetric. He's, I think that's the second time in a row he started in the top 6 now. Carl Hardy is 6th, Rob Graham 7th, Scott Malcolm in 8th. Marcelo Panion in 9th. He's going to be another one up there, but of course, it's his teammates that are near the front with him in this one, Alex. So it may not be such a massive battle, more just sort of teamwork to make sure they get a lot of points.
Yeah. Final race of the season of the evening.
I bet they wish it was.
I expect a few people want to make sure they maximise points.
Here we go then. Lights are on. Lights are off. Away they go. Jeroen Ursum gets what looks like a decent start. Charlie Summers gets away well, but Jason Cooper does not. He's got Stuart Dick alongside him now. They're nearly going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Fantastic scenes there as they go down to the first corner. How's people's braking skills in this one? Stuart Dick has got 2 wheels on the inside there. A little bit out of shape by Jason Cooper by the look of it. I think he's going to lose the place though. It just looks like Jeroen Ursum has dropped down behind Rizzo and Summers now. Both fans of bright green wheels. Oh, speaking of bright green, Carl Hardy. Oh, there's an Automac knock hill car off in the background there, backwards into the wall. And going with him, I think that was Roy Viverke that's gone off. Alex Cherney is down the order 2. Jason Cooper back up into 4th place now, ahead of Stuart Dick. And Rizzo leading the way, but he's under pressure immediately from Charlie Summers. Into the tight right-hander, and over the crest they go. Summers tries to get a cutback there on Rizzo, and it's really worked for him actually. Look at that for an overlap. What a beautiful move that was. Let's hope they keep it nice and clean through here. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing Jason Cooper probably get his second win of the night. He's already up to 3rd. Charlie Summers takes the lead. Great little overlap there on Rizzo. Oh, a bit of contact as they go through the left-hander. On the brakes into the right-hander as well. Rizzo sends it up the inside. They both run a bit deep into there. Jason Cooper's going to be willing his teammate on. Ralph Cullinan going down the order, so is Andy Maxwell for the second time this evening. Real shame for Andy, he's not had the best of first laps tonight. Oh, there he is coming back onto the background, he's got a lot of damage as well, so real shame for him. Down the straight, we look at Stuart Dick now chasing down Jeroen Ursum. Whoa, someone nearly going in the wall there in the background. Not quite sure who that was, I think it was Marcelo Panion, it was. And for the lead, they're side by side, Summers and Rizzo. Rizzo's just ahead. Side by side here as well. That's Rob Graham getting involved. He's just behind Jeroen Ursum. Marcelo Panion, great little undercut there, Alex. A bit later on the brakes, turns it in a bit late. I think he might have Jeroen Ursum as well here. And
yes.
Scrap for the lead. Summers is up there, so Marcelo Panion making strides here into chasing down his teammates, and we may well see, if they can pressurise Rizzo out of the way, they may see Swift Cooper Esports 1-2-3 here.
That would be mighty impressive. Who have we got around them that could possibly... A long way back to like Brian Holmes, 13th place for Excite. There's a few other. Dave Hampson maybe might be able to get in there. I mean, he's got reasonable pace, but I wouldn't say he's been absolutely blisteringly fast these last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. So it's going to be easy for him to separate them.
The sectors on our timing boards haven't quite matched the livery of his car, have they? They've not really been setting purple sectors, but like you say, he's been quick, but not setting the way of the light, unfortunately. It's now Summers, Cooper, Rizzo, Dick, Panion. So Rizzo dropped down to 3rd place now, as Jason Cooper is into 2nd, and he'll be defending his teammates' lead, if anything, if Rizzo gets a run here. Stuart Dick still involved there as well for Asymmetric. Good to see him up there. He did have a teammate, Abdulkir Al-Amri, in the first few rounds that we commentated, but he's not been in the last few race meetings. Not quite sure what's happened there. Panion fastest lap of the race, 1:37.0. Just shows with all this battling. They were doing 1:35.1s before, and it just shows the difference in pace from race to race, how the conditions affect things, and that's just something you have to think about with iRacing, isn't it, Alex? Especially with the dynamic skies and the ever-changing temperatures now. It's not fixed, so closer to the real thing, and obviously more stuff to factor in.
Having a little look, who's that having that little move in the background? That is Panion and Dick were side by side, so this is ever getting closer to your 1-2-3 that you were talking about. So, and he's through, and with the pace that Panion had earlier, I have no doubts that he's going to catch up Rizzo ahead.
Yeah, it'd be an upset if he didn't, really. It'd be a surprise to me if he didn't as well. Cesare Rizzo, 3rd place now, still hanging on to that podium though, and he may well do that for the remainder, you never know. Oh, Stuart Dick's on the right hand side. That can only be because of contact, really. Who was he racing alongside? He was with Hampson, wasn't he?
Look.
He was in there with... Is that Rob Graham?
Yeah, it would have been Rob Graham.
And Hampson sneaks through as well there. That's a real shame for Stuart Dick. He was doing so well up there. Now he's 29th.
He's right on the tail of these guys. This is what he needs. It's the only way I think he's going to stop Panion getting to him, and if he can just fastest lap of the race as well. If he can just stay with them and literally make them pull him along, so that Panion can't.
Yeah, he just needs to play the strategic game here, doesn't he, and make sure he sticks with them, like you say. And it just goes to show that when they're not sort of scrapping to get through the AM drivers, the pace is there from these boys. Drops off a little bit through the left-hander, but that's the thing. I mean, I mentioned it before that on the tight and twisty bits, if you've got the pace to get the car around there really strongly, but you get caught up again on the straights just because of the slipstream, it can be very frustrating, like it will be right now for Cooper and Summers. But at the end of the day, for Rizzo, it's a dream scenario to be in, as long as he can keep it on the black stuff through these tight and twisty sections. You can see he's trying to push the car a bit much though, I think, to stay with them, and he loses a bit more time. So Panion may be closing. You can visually see him there in the background. Very ominous sight for Cesare Rizzo, but hopefully he defends this well. Lovely little bloom effect there from the dashboard as we go on board. Such an undulating circuit as well, isn't it, Alex? It's actually, while I was saying before, it may not be to everyone's taste. It's certainly great to see, because the elevation changes are brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it is a really good circuit to drive once you get in a rhythm with it. You just have to respect the fact that you can't flirt with the limits really, because unlike a lot of circuits, it's got no runoff.
Yeah, like we were saying, there's no second chances. You can't push your luck too much. You can see the amount of lock he's trying to just keep it smooth, but he's just got to push the car because he needs to get ahead of Rizzo sooner rather than later, just to make the end of the race a bit more comfortable for himself. As we see Delmont here in a battle with Stevens. Wortman is just ahead of them. Just behind is James McRitchie. This is a great little scrap. Fantastic train of cars. You can see him on the left-hand side there, lit up in orange. With how close they are together, almost making contact with each other. There was a bit of a domino effect as they all slammed on the brakes to avoid one another. What a train of cars that is. That's awesome to see. That's Max Wright, Scott Malcolm, Nick McCarron, David Ayres. That's going to be Luke Cooper, Michael Wortman, Kip Stevens, Adam Delmont, James McRitchie, Jack Ashton, and then it's a second and a half back to Jamie Ayres. Well, all of these guys, they're not just following each other either, they're all just actually scrapping with each other, going for moves. Just in front there, that's Cooper down the inside of David Ayres. Wortman is just in front of Stevens. Ashton there has just got past McRitchie. And at the front of this all is actually Scott Malcolm in 10th place. He's a second and a half down on Max Wright. And Scott driving for Result Clothing at the moment in the silver and blue car that you can see there. Sorry, white and blue, I do apologise. But Nick McCarron, again Alex, just outside the top 10, and this is how he's at the top of the standings. I think all 4 races tonight he's either been just inside the top 10 or just outside it. He's been like 9th or 12th I think in each race. And it all adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely. I mean, keep plugging away. I know for myself, at the end of last season when I was trying to get in the BSR TC showdown, that was the key thing. It wasn't necessarily finish sort of, you know, top 5 in every race kind of thing. It was just those consistent good results, get those points. It made all the difference. What we got there. I mean, I've had an absolutely shocking season really this season at the start of it, with either DNFs or penalties and things like that, trying to push and battle hard for, you know, podiums and things like that, and it just really is not panning out. So yeah, I you know, if I'm gonna be in that showdown at the end of the season, I've got to certainly change my approach to more like Nick.
Yeah, definitely, and keep your elbows in, yeah. Jason Cooper leading the race at the moment from Charlie Summers. Another bit of domination here from Swift Cooper Esports. We've seen it since they joined the championship. Panion is now 3rd. Rizzo down in 5th actually, behind Dave Hampson. We've missed that. He's run a bit wide there. Is he just going to go deep into there? He's got dirty tyres, yeah. And that again is it's another aspect of the realism of iRacing these days, isn't it, Alex? You can run wide on the dirt and it does affect the grip your tyres have for the next corner, even when it's dirt that's been brought onto the track by other people.
Yeah. I think perhaps he was a bit frustrated that he lost sort of 3rd place. I'm going to try and find where he lost that as well, because
yeah, it must have been.
He was.
I can't see.
Yeah, he was already behind, wasn't he, at that point? So.
But that's Marcelo Panion for you. He's just a magician in this car by the look of it. Just suddenly, and it's like bang, and I'm 3rd, and there he is.
Here we go. Here it is.
Oh, he's just got a really good run out of there, actually, hasn't he? He's got it hooked up. Doesn't lose too much momentum. On the brakes. Oh, Rizzo runs very deep actually into there, and yeah, it doesn't give him even half a chance of getting a cutback or anything. And Panion flies through. He's now up to 2nd.
Yeah.
How does he do that? It's like that whooshing noise when it goes back to a replay. It's like that's when he just sort of sneaks underneath everyone, and there he goes. So Swift Cooper Esports doing what they do best at the moment, and well, winning. I think there's no other word for it, is it really?
See the overtake for a 2nd.
He'll be in 1st when we come back from this.
Yeah.
It's nice, straightforward down the straight. Charlie Summers won't defend too much, in the interest of keeping a team result.
Yeah, they'll want that 1, 2, 3. Right.
And that's what matters. Oh, he's still 2nd. That's all right then. Don't need to worry about that. He's still got 3 laps to go though. He could well win this race. You never know.
And the pace is showing. I mean, he was 3 tenths quicker than his teammate. The last one by, so it's 1.3, 1.2, so he will have the draft, so we'll be catching him up.
Well, last time he did a 135.3, Charlie Summers did a 136.7. Let's have a look this time. 35.8 by the race leader, 35.7, 36.1. So similar lap times, are all within about half a second of each other. Just trying to see who it is that set the fastest lap of the race at the moment. I won't be surprised if it's Marcelo Pagnon. He's done a 135.39.
That's right.
Well,
That is the fastest lap of the race. Can't see anyone.
Yeah, Rizzo's done a 135.43. To be fair, he's only 0.04 of a second slower. So that just shows how quick he was earlier on in the race. And I mean, he's not dropped off that much, to be honest. He's only 4 seconds back from Hampson. So he's doing well in 5th place. Rob Graham leading the AM category at the moment. Max Wright back up there. He's just got past Carl Hardy for 9th, with Carl Hardy in 10th.
Good battle, actually, that one.
Yeah, they've got a right scrap going on. Nick McCarron involved.
The inside of Hardy.
It's hard to tell who some of these guys are sometimes when it gets this dark on an unlit circuit, but
yeah,
it makes it
from here we just got no clue, I'm afraid.
Yeah. When they've got a car behind them and they light up just how vivid these liveries are, I mean, you can definitely tell that's Nick McCarron's orange roll cage there. And a lot of these guys like to run very brightly coloured cars, so that helps. Carl Hardy runs a very bright green car, which I think it naturally glows in the dark anyway around there. It's that bright. He's in 11th at the moment. And just to add to the green, he's obviously in the AM category, which is lit up green on the left side of the screen, so we're not going to forget who Carl is in a hurry. Max Wright there, 2nd place in the category. He's also got a bright green car in the bright green AM category. And he's done very well tonight, to be fair, as Max Wright. Obviously, he lost places earlier because of that battle that he was having, which was a shame to see, but
he got turned, didn't he, on the last lap or penultimate lap as well? So yeah, that's kind of why he was at the front. I think he hasn't made that many places, but yeah, up 1 for the moment. So having a look here, he's going to try and go to the outside of Luke Cooper.
And Luke, of course, who he's racing against, has gained 15 places so far.
Yeah, Cooper good on the brakes there. So
Brian Holmes just ahead of these guys up the road as well. Well, I'll say that he's 6.8 seconds up. That's quite a big gap actually to have in the midfield of this pack. He's 14 places gained at the moment. Biggest mover is Adam Delmont in 14th place. He's gained 19 so far for XI Racing. And as per usual, he's got a teammate with him. Ashley Beard is right behind him, and Jack Ashton is only 2 spots in front. They certainly do hunt in packs. They're not joking. It's not actually a joke anymore. It's genuinely just a fact about these XI Energy iRacing cars. Well, good little scrap going on here then. Nick McCarron still behind Max Wright. Just behind them, Carl Hardy is letting Jack Ashton through. He's going to be onto the back of Nick McCarron now as well. He's going to be fighting with just 1 more lap to go. Pagnon is back down to 3rd behind Charlie Summers here. I think that got done just at the end of the last lap as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they're pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
So Pagnon did reel in Jason Cooper, so but Summers has just used that opportunity to get back up into 2nd as well. All right, final lap. I think this is going to be a photo finish.
Yeah, definitely. They seem to be getting closer together, don't they? I think as they come across the line out of the last corner, if they've got enough room back to Hampson, I mean, they've got nearly 4 seconds at the moment. They'll probably make it a bit of a photo finish, which would be nice to see. If not, either way, they've got a 1-2-3 out of it, so they're going to be happy with it either way. We see McCarron and Ashton now side by side. McCarron's going to be on the inside of turn 1. McCarron brakes a bit early, probably hoping to get the cut back. Ashton parks on the apex at the first part of the corner, takes the racing line, and well, he just carried a lot more momentum through there actually. Rizzo going down the order. Has he done the same that he did in the last race in Run 1?
No, I think it's just Holmes actually. I think Holmes is just move off on the final lap of the race. Let's have a quick look, see if we can't see that one back. Or maybe he did, because Rizzo lost 2 places, so I just got a bit out of shape, and Rob Graham up and past, and Holmes through as well.
I think he just clipped the curb on the inside, and when he hit the dirt, it just upset the car a bit too much. Rob Graham there, still battling away with Brian Holmes, and Rob Graham's another one, like we mentioned with Max Wright before. No matter who you are, he will give you a scrap. He'll defend that place till the car sets itself on fire almost. Still down the inside on the brakes. Side by side with Brian Holmes. No overlap there, and of course now Rizzo's going to get back involved with this as well. There you go. Fantastic stuff. Jason Cooper, 2 wins tonight ahead of Charlie Summers, Marcelo Pagnon, and here they go to the line, ladies and gents. It's going to be Rob Graham Brian Holmes, Cesare Rizzo. It's going to be 3 wide finish across the line. Is it going to be checkers or wreckers?
Oh, who got that?
Brian Holmes is showing us
Just
ahead.
by the absolute skin of his teeth
Yeah.
from Rob Graham.
It's
Great
down
racing.
to the thousandth. That on the timing screen, it's showing as 0 hundredths of a second. 4 hundredths to Cesare Rizzo as well. Brilliant to see. Scott Malcolm there, battling with Adam Delmont. He beats him to the line in the end as well. Adam McNally there. Oh, another one. Yeah, Ralph Cullinan only just beat him. That's down to the thousandths as well between those boys. That's shown as 0 on our timing screen. Just goes down to the hundredths on here. I'll check it within the sim and see what the difference was. They've actually gone to the same thousandth as well, actually. 37.785 behind the leader, and it's the same with Graham and Holmes as well. 14.946 behind the leader, both of them. So I tell you what, that's probably worth a screenshot at some point. It's not often that twice in the same race you see 2 guys crossing the line under the same thousandth of a second, is it really? That's awesome. But like you were saying before, it just sets up.
I think I've only ever seen it, maybe once or twice anyway in the history of all the broadcasts. So yeah, to have 2 in one race, pretty crazy.
There was, of course, the very famous BSR TC Pro Series race at Daytona, where Sebastian Job, I think, beat Wojciech Savidovic over the line by. I think they actually didn't they get someone to look into it, and it was found to be 1/10,000th of a second on the difference or something.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be fair. It
was less than 1,000th. So I think it was literally the minimum it could be. Jason Cooper doing some donuts there. Obviously the winner of that race, Swift Cooper Esports 1-2-3, with Summers and Panion in third there. Dave Hampson, great finish in fourth, to be fair. He just sort of sneaked around, had a bit of a lonely race. 9 seconds behind him was Rob Graham in fifth, who wins the AM category. Brian Holmes is sixth, Cesare Rizzo 7th, Luke Cooper in 8th, Max Wright 9th, and Jack Ashton in 10th. Nick McCarron finished 11th, Carl Hardy in 12th, Scott Malcolm in 13th place, Adam Delmont in 14th with Ashley Beard 15th, James McRitchie 16th, Alex Cherney 17th, and Benjamin Mears in 18th place. You can see Rob Graham and Brian Holmes there have the same finishing times. And then you get the same again. Oh, actually, on our screen there, it says 785 and 786. McNally just beaten Cullinan to the line with Cessford 21st, Kip Stevens in 22nd, Waltman 23rd, Stuart Dick is 24th, Euron Urson 25th, Joe McDonald is 26th, and Mikey Keane 27th, David Ayres 28th, Anthony Ainsworth 29th, and the cars that were more than 1 lap down, 3 SimLab cars there. Jamie Ayres, Peter Van Gool, Steve Hefford. Not the race they would have wanted. Robbie Verke, he was out early on, finishing 33rd, and Andy Maxwell rounding up the field for year 1 racing.
Well, let's bring Jack Ashton in, because he's been in there first, waiting patiently.
Here he is, Mr. Ashton. How was your evening tonight, buddy? It seemed like it was a really good scrap all up and down the field in that one, really.
Yeah, it's a good round. I was a bit unsure about it at the start of it. I mean, really tight and twisty, nowhere to really get past. So I sort of went into it thinking, just stick behind people and hopefully people go off and then get the places that way instead of trying to be too aggressive, trying to avoid the penalty points really, which is hindering my points in the championship. So I think I did pretty well. Overall, had a pretty good round. So, and a few of the teammates had a bit of a bad one, but I think all in all we had an okay one considering the track. We were a bit nervous about it.
Yeah, it seems like one of them where it'll be difficult to sort of set up an approach to it, because if you're too aggressive, you can just make one mistake, as we saw people do tonight, and you lose a handful of places. Was the overall sort of team consensus to just be patient? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we go into rounds with that sort of aspect, thinking we'll be patient, but every time it comes to the race, everyone wants to get to the front. It's the nature of the beast. But I think this round particular, I think is definitely my approach to this track. I'm not sure if the other teammates thought that the same, but I know Brian had a good round tonight. So all in all, I think we did all right.
Good stuff. Well, I was just about. I've got to the same bit of the broadcast I always get to, where I don't know where we're at next week.
And I was prepared for this because I know you always forget.
Go on, where are we?
We're at Belle Isle. which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh dear. Well, it's one of two road circuits on iRacing that I do not own. That and the other circuit being Zandvoort, which obviously got announced today as Formula One. Just a bit off topic, actually. What do you think of that Zandvoort being announced for F1 next year?
I have to disappoint you. I'm not a massive F1 fan, but I have heard the news, and I do think Zandvoort is an awesome track. So no matter what car you're in, I think it's got to be good.
Well, that'll be the end of the interview with Jack Ashton.
Yeah.
No, it's it's going to divide opinions, isn't it? It's a very Marmite track. Belle Isle, then. You say you're excited for it. How excited are you to see those walls flying by so quickly?
Well, I mean, I remember last time we did this round, I enjoyed it really well, and I felt like I was pretty quick there, and that's when I didn't have a shifter, and I found a lot of pace since I've got a shifter, so
Yeah.
I'm feeling quite confident going into it. We'll soon see what comes of it next week, but yeah, hopefully go into it with high hopes and come out of it with a good result.
Well, fingers crossed for you, buddy. It's obviously one of those tracks where you can go into it thinking, yeah, I'll just play it safe. You know, people are going to be going very aggressively, but sometimes you can't avoid other people's accidents, I suppose. So
Yes, you can get unfortunate rounds. I think one of our teammates, Ash, had that round tonight. He's very angry in the group chat. I think you're lucky he's not interviewing you.
Fair play. Well, I'll keep my eye out for him afterwards. But yeah, that was a really good fun one to watch, mate. Well done on the results tonight. And is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go?
Yeah, obviously just the usual shout outs to all the Team Excite, all the sponsors. I'm sure McNally probably be able to reel them off better than me. But yeah, no, thanks to you guys as well. You put on a good show always. And that's about it, really. Thank you.
Smashing stuff. Well, great to speak to you, buddy. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak to you again next time round, hopefully.
Thank you.
Cheers. Jack Ashton there of Excite Energy iRacing. We'll bring in Rob Graham, who's just popped into the interview room. Rob, good to see you. We had a brilliant little battle across the line there with, I cannot remember who it was. I think it was Brian Holmes, wasn't it?
Yeah, Brian Holmes. That's half the reason I came in. I just wanted to give a shout out to him. And man, that last lap, that was insane. That was one of the best single laps I've had on iRacing. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it looked like great fun from in the commentary box. How was your overall evening? Did you feel it went well?
The usual ups and downs. Last race was absolutely brilliant. First race wasn't too bad. Races 2 and 3 I get taken out a bit, but yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, as it was described just a moment ago to us, it's the nature of the beast. Sometimes you can have your own approach to a race, but you can't alter other people's approaches sometimes, can you, I suppose?
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes things happen. Red miss accidents. We're all human errors, you know.
Yeah.
Shit happen. Excuse the language.
Well, people know. It's all good, don't worry. Next week, I'm going to pretend like I knew this all along. Belle Isle. What do you think of going there?
I only raced there a couple of times, so still fairly fresh on that track. So it should be fun. Quite a fun track the last time I went there. So fingers crossed. I felt quite good in the car this season so far. So here's hoping can turn some of the good pace into some good results instead of non-finishes for a change.
Well, fingers crossed that works for you, buddy. Of course, it's just one of those tracks, I suppose, where you just got to have your wits about you, haven't you, really?
Yeah, same with all the tracks, really, when you're racing in amongst this amount of cars.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Well, before we let you go, Rob, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to tonight?
Yeah, a big shout out to Automech Performance Garage in East Kilbride and to Knockhill Racetrack, our very supporting sponsors, long-running sponsors. Great job from them. And that's it.
Cracking stuff, buddy. Smashing. Well, we wish you all the best at Belle Isle next week. We'll of course be watching, and yeah, maybe we'll speak to you then.
Brilliant. Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
Cheers. Thanks, Rob.
Bye-bye.
Good to speak to Rob there. First time I've ever interviewed him, really. He's a very feisty racer. He's been around in BSR a while, hasn't he?
Has indeed. And talking of Belle Isle, actually, we had a bit of an interesting battle at Belle Isle last season, I think, BSRTC as well. So, unfortunately, it ended with him in the wall and me with some suspension damage, if I remember rightly. So, yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, it's been another great race of night of racing. Yeah, Belle Isle should be an absolute corker next week, to be fair. I'll have to buy the track and actually have a look round and see what it's all about. I've heard a lot of people raving about it, but I'm not sold on street circuits, so we'll see. It's been a pleasure as always, Alex. Your final thoughts on tonight?
Yeah, just another good night's racing. Yeah, enjoyed it. Wasn't sure what to expect, of course, with this circuit. But yeah, I think it delivered some great racing, and the first time we've ever seen two battles split by the thousandth of a second, or 10,000th of a second, which is awesome.
Indeed, yeah. I'm going to make sure I save that screenshot.
I was about to say, let's get some screenshots of that.
Yeah, that's going on Reddit. Anyway, absolute pleasure as always, mate. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for watching as well. Of course, on Apex Racing TV, on Facebook, Twitch, and of course on the iRacing Esports Network. Very grateful to be doing this all for you. We will catch you the same time next week, 8:15 in the evening UK time, and we will be joining you from Belle Isle for another 4 races. Have a great evening.